What's going on, everyone? You are listening once again to the Listen Man podcast. I am your host, Anthony Spini, and it is so good to be here with you guys once again. Guys, it's been a minute. I've taken some time off and really taken time to sit back, reflect, and relax, but mostly to reflect. And what I've been reflecting on is, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I recording? Why am I coaching? Sometimes when you're taking a step and a leap into entrepreneurship and an unpaved road where you don't really know how things are going to play out, you hit those walls, especially early when the results aren't coming, the views aren't there, the comments, the likes, all of the above. And I really had to sit back and take time away to think about why, my purpose. For a while, I'd been focusing too much on the views, on the comments, on the likes. I deactivated my Instagram and TikTok for a little bit just to take a break and have a really pure understanding of why I was doing it, where I had nothing else to cloud my judgment other than me. Why was Anthony choosing to do this? Why am I taking my time and effort to coach people? Why do I want to help people? Why do I think my voice and my words can help others? Especially when you don't see the results. You think that you aren't supposed to be doing that. You think that your words don't matter, that where you're headed is just where other people have headed to. Many others who have tried their hand at entrepreneurship or putting their content out there and trying to make a difference, but ultimately lands flat because of whatever, the algorithm, or doesn't get the right listeners, or quitting, or what have you. Content doesn't land. Many different reasons. And when I sat back and I reflected, one of the things that came up time after time was, if I don't do this, if I don't try, if I don't put my heart into life, what I truly get out of bed thinking about, can I live with that? Will I be okay with that? See, one of the things that affects me, and one of the things that I'm always on fire about, is mental health and connection and communication, how we communicate as people, how we connect with others, particularly as we go through our lives, deal with struggle, adversity, growth. And we get through those moments and we get through those tough times with the help of others, by opening up, by, yes, taking accountability of it personally and internally, but ultimately we are there helping others in those moments. We are showing up as humans, aiding others who are trying to be better day after day after day. One of the things that I've struggled with for as long as I can remember is staying on the path, being persevering, continuing to push forward when there are days when it gets really dark. One of the things that I know that I would be so ashamed of is quitting something that I personally believe in and something that I know I can make a difference. And that's where I need the audience. That's where I need friends, people I've never met, the internet, all of that to come together to be able to help people, because I know help is needed and it's on my heart to help people. And one of the things that I've learned is you must be willing. You must be willing to do what it takes for you. There are some people out there, the first time they picked up a baseball bat, they hit a home run. They knew exactly how to play. It was natural for them. It was in them. Myself, I was good but it took me a lot of practice to get better, to learn how to hit a curveball, how to stay back. It's the same thing in life. It's the same thing with many skills, conversation, with communication, with our mental health. It's learning day after day. What does it take for me to feel safe in my body? What have I learned and what do I need to unlearn about my habits, about my environment, about myself, about what I can control and how I can make change in my life? It takes what it takes. That's one of the sayings in 12 step in addiction treatment. It takes what it takes. And that is very much true in life when it comes down to any skill, any task, especially a goal and a dream that you have. When your dream is concrete, yes, but when your dream is abstract in helping other people, that's bigger than numbers. It's bigger than views, likes, comments, retweets. That's something that lights me up every single day. That's something that I can never quit. And I will find something that I know I can make an impact in the world. I love my job as a nurse. I make a huge difference. My patients, they're so important to me. I know I would be making my grandfather proud. I know I have made my grandfather proud. But sometimes in life, we can no longer worry about what we do to make others proud of us. But what do we do to respect ourselves, to look ourselves in the mirror and know that we are living out our purpose? And yes, it is really hard when you don't have the validation coming back that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Getting 1, 2 views on a video, getting 1 like, getting any comment, that's tough. That's tough because you compare yourself to other people who have done it, who have been doing it for years, who have a lot more output, who are helping other people. When you know that I've got something to give, I can do this too. It's something that lights me up. It's personal, but it takes faith. It takes trust in life, in the universe, in God to know that you will be where you will be needed. Life puts you in the circumstances and the situations where you are needed. Sometimes it does take failure. Sometimes it does take perseverance to get through those times where you are not seeing the results, the validation, the worth from outside. It takes a lot of discipline, self-love, and ultimately confidence in yourself that you can do it and that you must do it. I've talked about it before. You have wants, needs, and musts. This is a must for me. Helping others with their journeys, with their battles through mental health, working with other people who don't have someone beside them, walking along with them when they know that they can overcome something, but they need help. That's what I'm here for. That's what I can provide. And I know because I've been that person before, I've needed that. And that is why I continue. That is why I pick up and try again. And maybe that's you in some form or fashion in life. Maybe that's your situation where you're not sure why you're continuing down a certain path. Maybe it's not fruitful. Maybe you don't get someone telling you that you're good at it. Maybe you don't get the validation, the status, the power that you think you deserve. And some of it is important to listen to. Am I reaching the right crowds? Am I getting through to the people that truly need my service, my help, my skills? But if you ask yourself this one question, I promise you, you're in the right place. And the question is, does this light me up? What if I had the option to do one thing to make a difference in the world? And I know I've got one chance to help people and make the world a better place. Would this be my thing? And if your answer is yes, and it's the thing that gets you out of bed, that keeps you up late, that constantly has your head spinning with ideas, new ways to connect with other people, new ways to help people, keeps your creative mindset going of ways to connect and bring ideas outward. If you know you've been that person that you're trying to help make a difference in their life, if you know that's been you, then it's never too much. You will go to great lengths because you know that you've been that person. And that's been me. That's been my journey. Continuing to persevere, continuing to push forward, continuing to try. Not in disbelief, not to gain validation, but to make a difference, because that is my purpose. To make a difference, to let others know they are not alone, that they are important, that they matter, that they can overcome their past, put the adversity behind them, step up on that adversity, and be a better person. Because they've been through certain things that have brought them down, that makes them feel like they are no longer worth it. I've been that person. Looking yourself in the mirror, being disgusted with yourself, being absolutely disgusted with yourself because you know you can do better, because you know that you haven't done the things you should be doing, or that you don't believe in yourself and you don't know what love is, especially what self-love is. That's been me. And that's why I continue. Not for the views, not for the likes, not for the comments, but to make true change and a difference in the world. Sometimes taking time away can give you a refreshed set of eyes, a new perspective, or just a deep breath and rest that you need to look at it holistically and from a different view. Taking time away, going on hikes after work, getting to the gym, being more consistent with taking care of myself. Even tonight, I knew I needed to record, but I made sure I had dinner and I made sure that I had something to drink before I came in the house. Taking care of yourself. The work will be there. The help is needed. Your purpose is there for you. You will be in the position you need to be. Trust. Have faith in life that you will be where you are needed. You are here for a reason. You are worth it. We were all put here with a purpose in mind. No matter what you believe, faith-wise, spiritually, you have purpose. Just in your being alone, you have purpose. If that's smiling, if that's words, if that's a skill, being a parent, being a good sibling, listening, giving words of encouragement, carpentry, whatever your skill is, you are needed. And sometimes you don't get the validation that you think you deserve. Sometimes you work really hard for a little bit of love or none at all. Sometimes you get the complete opposite of what you think you deserve. I know there have been a lot of moments recently where I've looked back and reflected on life through the eyes of other people, and I've compared myself to them and really talked down to myself from a self-talk perspective. There have been some moments where I've reverted back to old ways of thinking and old ways of talking to myself with disrespect, ways I would never talk to another human being, but ways that I talk to myself. And we all do it at different levels. We have different expectations for ourselves than we do for others. But remember, not loving yourself is disrespect to other people as well. We are all one. We are all whole as a consciousness, as a self, as a people. What you do to yourself inside reflects out. There's an analogy that I read in Dr. Wayne Dyer's book. You'll see it when you believe it. And it was talking about an orange. And if you squeeze an orange, what comes out is orange juice, because that's what an orange is. It's what's inside that comes out. Same with us. If you are irritated, if you're treated with respect, if you're poked, if you're loved, all that comes out and that can come out is the orange juice. It's you. It's who you are. It's how you show up. And as much as we blame our environment and results, and if I had this, then I would be this, life does not work that way. We must be before we do. It is our being. It is who we are. It's what we believe about ourselves. It's what we choose to think. It's how we show up in the world. It is not how others treat us. There's a great poem, and it's by Mother Teresa, and it's called Anyway. And I won't repeat that poem right now, but please do read it. It's a very good read. But what it says is, do it anyway. The good that you do will be seen as self-serving, as selfish. Do it anyway. People will see you happy. They'll see you succeeding. And they will say that you cheated, that you didn't deserve it. Be happy anyway. Do it anyway. Whatever you choose to do, whatever your purpose is in life, do it anyway. Live your life anyway. You are not here to please other people. You are not here to get the validation, the worth, the love from other people. It is nice to have. And we have so many people, I have so many people that love me and that treat me with so much respect and love. And that's what I reflect on as well. Sometimes we don't always see that because we can only see what's in our mind. We only see what we think about. And that's the rejection. That's the disrespect. That's the lack of love, attention, validation. But that is not all. But that is all we see because that's all we think about. And it shows up that way in our lives as well, when all we focus on is what we don't have. So as I conclude, we all have purpose. We all have worth. And that comes from within. I found my purpose many times. Once someone told me that I was really smart for choosing to be a nurse. And my thought was, do you really think I chose for my grandfather to have cancer and die? And I'm able to look back with that with a little more humor now because they didn't mean it demeaningly, but my inner perspective is that that chose me. My grandfather's situation, his life, his dying, his struggle, me being at his doctor's appointments, me becoming an oncology nurse, that chose me. I couldn't go any other way. That was my purpose. I found my purpose. I lived and found my purpose. I didn't ask for that. That came to me. That's what showed up. That's what God wanted me to do and to be as a caregiver. And that's who I am personally. I got that from my mother. I got that from my grandparents, my sisters, my brother as well. And everyone that raised me was to be a caregiver. And that's truly how I feel I am as a person. That's who I am. But before any of that, I am a person. Before that, I am spirit. Before that, we all are one. We all come from the same creator. We all come to live life in the universe as one. We separate ourselves as egos. We separate ourselves as individual beings, seeing ourselves and our lives as different, unique, and unrelated to other people. And while we all are unique and we all are individual and we all are special, we forget that we are one. And as we remember, we are one people. We have our gifts. We do it because of who we are, not because of what we get. We do our purpose. We live our life with purpose because of who we are. It comes from within. It comes from life. Using that same logic, it's smart for me to work with mental health. It's smart for me to be a life coach. My journey with mental health has not been simple. It has not been easy by any means. It's been a lot of days of struggle, anxiety, depression, days where I couldn't get my ass out of bed because I didn't think that there was any point. And there's another episode where I'll get a little deeper into that darkness, but I did not choose some of the behaviors and some of the mindsets and the background behind why all that was happening. But through hardship, through continued growth, through continued prayer, through continued work, through my mental health, I know that this is something that I can make a difference in some way. And I will continue to be willing to work on that and to help others. And no matter what your purpose is, if that's something that happened to you personally, if that's something that you know you can truly change lives, it doesn't have to be social. It doesn't have to be something related to people directly. It can be something related to building. It can be related to your mind. I promise you it's needed. There's nothing that is put on this earth that is not needed. This is the most I've spoken about God, but God does not put things in the world that are unnecessary. There are never things that God makes that there's not a purpose that He has planned. It is us. It is our egos. It's what we put into it that we find unnecessary. It's us that changes. We see life differently. We grow, hopefully. Sometimes we revert and we see things back the way we used to in a negative fashion or in an unlightened fashion. But as we see that purpose, as we see what our purpose is, we understand we were here for a reason. You are here for a reason. I am here for a reason. And it's not about the likes, the views, the comments. It's not about that on Instagram, TikTok. It's not about that in real life. It's not about the clap, the pat on the back. You will get that. If you're doing what you truly are supposed to be doing, you will get that. You will have people that do see the good you do in the world. Some more than others, depending on what you do. Because sometimes we don't see the beauty and the intelligence of other people until it affects us personally. We don't always recognize that. Being a nurse, I know I get that often because people see my care directly. But no matter what you do, ask yourself, is this something that lights me up? Is this something that I am on fire about? Is this something that if my life was taken away from me and I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to take action, I was unwilling because I was afraid, because I wasn't getting the validation, and you forgot and looked by the passion and the fire that you had, and you overlooked that first for the worth, for the words, for anything outside of yourself. If you look for that first, rather than what's inside of you, the fire, the passion, the energy, then you will have wasted what your purpose is. Always listen to your inner self. Your higher consciousness will not lie to you. Even changing lanes, changing jobs, changing your career, your passion, your hobbies, the people you hang around with, changing all of those things, it doesn't mean it was a waste for the time you were doing it. It was just what led you to where you are. I've had people in my life that have led me to this point now. I've had people that 3 or 4 years ago, I would have never thought that would not be in my life today, that aren't in my life today, that I have not talked to in a couple years. Not out of jealousy, not out of envy, not out of anger. We grew apart. We have different goals. But that served a purpose for that time. And sometimes coming up short, failure, and I don't like to use failure because it's producing results. The result that you got that you were not happy with, that led you to either quitting or trying again. And if it's something that you know you're supposed to do, I hope you try again. I hope you remember that you are worth it. If it's something that lights you up, do not put out that fire. It was there for a reason. Fire is something that comes from within. Fire is something that comes from within. That is you. That is what was put on your heart, in your mind, and in your life energy. Guys, I hope this resonates with you. If you know anyone out there who is struggling, please remember to check in on them. I know May was Mental Health Awareness Month, but mental health awareness does not stop when the calendar turns to June. Guys, I hope this resonated. Please check in on all those you love. Remember, what you say matters. How you say it matters. Mean what you say what you mean. But remember to listen, man. Thanks, y'all. Have a great evening.